greetings from our channel again. One of Hollywood and hashtag 039's living legends, Angie Dickinson, has garnered public acclaim for her turbulent personal life in addition to making a significant impact through her roles over the course of 6 decades. She won over millions of admirers with her iconic roles in Rio Bravo and Police Woman. A lesser-known tale of failed marriages, high-profile romances, and the loss of her only daughter, however, is hidden beneath the spotlight. Despite facing personal disasters, Angie Dickinson maintained her career and grace at the highest level throughout her turbulent life. What, then, made Angie Dickinson so strong that she defied fate? Let and hashtag 039's examine her story in detail, from her modest upbringing in North Dakota to her ascent to fame in Hollywood. A trip full of power and emotion. Childhood. The little North Dakota hamlet of Colm is where Angeline Brown, better known as Angie Dickinson, was born on September 30, 1931. Angie grew up with 2 siblings in the heart of rural America in a modest but cozy household. Leo Henry Brown, her father, was a strong guy who worked as the projectionist at the town and hashtag 039's Lone Movie Theater and as the editor of the local newspaper. Despite life and hashtag 039's obstacles, her mother, Frederica Brown, was a devoted housewife who worked tirelessly to maintain the family unit. Those gloomy evenings when her father stood behind the projector, spinning the film reels on the large screen, were connected to Angie and hashtag 039's first cinematic recollections. She could only observe this world from a distance, but it gave the young girl fantasies she could never have dreamed. Angie and hashtag 039's eyes would light up with fascination, even though she didn't and hashtag 039's completely understand the enchantment of cinema at that age. A terrible incident happened. A fire destroyed her family and hashtag 039's playhouse. For a lot of people, this would have been the last time they saw movies. For Angie, however, it was only the start. The ashes of the theater stoked her love of the movies more intensely than before. She promised herself that she would one day appear on that large screen, like the celebrities she had watched from afar. When Angie was just 10 years old in 1942, her family made the decision to relocate from the harsh North Dakota to Burbank, California, in search of a better future. The Brown family saw this relocation as their only opportunity to turn their life around during the midst of World War II, when America was confronted with innumerable difficulties. Burbank sowed the seeds for Angie and hashtag 039's future profession in addition to offering a fresh setting. Angie went to Bellarmine Jefferson High School at Burbank. Amazingly, she was not only very smart and skilled, but also very attractive. She completed high school at the age of 15, which was an accomplishment few could make at that age. Angie not only excelled academically but also demonstrated her extraordinary ability and perseverance in whatever she did by winning the Bill of Rights essay contest. Following high school, Angie kept going to school. She became passionate about writing while attending Immaculate Heart College in Los Angeles. But because of her family and hashtag 039's financial circumstances, Angie was unable to concentrate entirely on her education and had to work many jobs to pay her bills. Her strong work ethic and endurance were developed through a variety of small jobs, including working as a secretary at Lockheed Air Terminal and in a components factory. It was during this difficult period that Angie met Gene Dickinson. Affable football player. In Angie and hashtag 039's hectic and demanding life, their encounter was a welcome change. In addition to being her lover, Gene was a tremendous support system that helped Angie get through the challenges of both work and school. Following their marriage in 1952, Angie formally adopted the last name Dickinson, which would come to represent her profession. Early career Angie Dickinson had no intention of becoming famous so quickly. Her life changed drastically after she married Gene Dickinson and became Angie Dickinson. The turning point in Angie and hashtag 039's life came in 1953, a year after her marriage, when she entered a local beauty pageant. Her coming second in the Miss America pageant and hashtag 039's preliminary round altered everything, even if she didn't and hashtag 039 win the crown. In addition to making Angie stand out, this performance attracted the attention of a talent scout, who recommended that she try her hand at being a showgirl on the Jimmy Durante Show. Angie initially had no plans to pursue a career in professional acting, but she soon found herself in front of unforeseen chances. Angie and #039's participation in this show provided the impetus for her to enter the television and film industries. Her acting prowess was immediately apparent, and Angie was persuaded to pursue acting classes by a television producer. This was the start of a career she never would have imagined. Angie debuted on television in a brief appearance on the Death Valley Days series on New Year and #039's Eve of 1954. Although it was only the start, it turned out to be a significant turning point in her journey to dominate the entertainment industry. Angie started getting more offers to appear on other NBC shows after this appearance, such as the Colgate Comedy Hour and numerous more well-liked shows. Angie made a name for herself in American television in the 1950s by playing a number of different parts. Angie got the chance to meet and become good friends with the great Frank Sinatra during this period. In addition to helping her build her network in the entertainment sector, this partnership served as a solid emotional support system for her. During her career, Angie Dickinson was able to enter the film industry more readily thanks to her relationships with well-known celebrities like Sinatra. Following her early television accomplishments, Angie pursued her career in film. She debuted on the big screen in Lucky Me, starring Doris Day, in 1956. Even though Angie and #039's performance wasn't #039's given much notice, it marked the start of more noteworthy roles in movies like Hidden Guns, 1956, Man with the Gun, 1955, and The Return of Jack Slade, 1955. Career breakthrough when Angie Dickinson was cast in the 1959 picture Rio Bravo, a significant turning point in both her life and career. Her career really took off. Angie portrayed Feathers in Rio Bravo, a clever, powerful, and alluring female gambler. She appeared in the movie with well-known actors including Ricky Nelson, Dean Martin, and John Wayne. In addition to propelling her to the pinnacle of her career, this role cemented Angie and #039's acting prowess and distinct charm. During a period when women and #039's duties were frequently constrained, Feathers came to represent strength and independence. This performance helped Angie Dickinson establish a strong career for herself in the competitive film industry, transforming her from a television actress to a rising star. The 1960s saw Angie Dickinson and #039's career continue to flourish. She kept pushing herself by playing a range of parts in comedies, dramas, action, and romances. She co-starred with Ronald Reagan in the noir movie The Killers in 1964, which was one of her most notable roles during this period. Bold, powerful performances were made possible by this character, launching Angie into the A-list stars of Hollywood. The Murderers not only validated Angie and #039's acting ability but also demonstrated her range, turning her from a beauty idol into a truly complex actress. Angie Dickinson left a lasting influence on television in addition to the big screen. When she landed the lead in the popular series Police Woman in 1974, it marked the second significant turning point in her career. In addition to solidifying her reputation as a television personality, her portrayal as police woman Pepper Anderson became her a symbol of the era and #039's women and #039's liberation movement. One of the first powerful, self-reliant female protagonists on television, this character broke stereotypes about women in the entertainment business. In addition to being an economic success, Policewoman had a big cultural influence. In 1975, Angie received a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a television series for her portrayal of Pepper Anderson, a notable recognition of her acting prowess. The extraordinary popularity of Policewoman was further cemented and Angie was nominated for 3 consecutive Emmys for the role. Angie Dickinson rose to international fame in the 1970s because to her performance, which made her one of the most adored and respected actors on television. Angie Dickinson continued to play a variety of roles in movies and television. Her role in the 1967 film Point Blank, in which she co-starred with Lee Marvin, was particularly noteworthy. Angie and #039's performance in this movie amply illustrated her capacity to inhabit nuanced and emotionally charged roles. Angie and #039's role in Point Blank, regarded as one of Hollywood and #039's iconic noir movies, demonstrated that she was more than just a beauty icon. She was a gifted and deeply felt actress. Angie continued to work on big-budget motion pictures during the 1970s, such as Big Bad Mama, 1974, in which she starred and acted out risky sequences, including one that was shockingly nude at the time. The movie created a stir and garnered interest due to Angie and #039's exceptional performance as well as its daring subject matter. In addition to being a financial success, Big Bad Mama gave Angie the opportunity to engage with a younger audience, showcasing her adaptability and tenacity in the entertainment industry. Alongside Marlon Brando and Jane Fonda, Angie Dickinson acted in movies like The Chase, 1966, which further cemented her fame. The cast of this movie was A-list. And Angie shone her ability to compete with these legendary figures in Hollywood. These celebrities worked together to produce a dramatic and tense movie. Additionally, Angie had the chance to display her acting skills in a chic and glitzy movie when she co-starred alongside Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Sammy Davis Jr. in Ocean and #039's 11, 1960. In addition to being a box office success, this film strengthened the unique bond between Angie and Frank Sinatra. Over the course of a career that lasted more than 60 years, Angie Dickinson continuously shone her talent in a variety of roles on television and in movies. She defied convention to become one of Hollywood and #039's top actors, a celebrity who depended on both her genuine talent and beauty. Above all, she left a lasting legacy in the entertainment world, from pioneering television series to iconic noir films, rumors, and relationships. She also won a Golden Globe and was nominated for many Emmys. In addition to being a gifted celebrity, Angie Dickinson and #039's personal life has long captivated the public and media because of the intense allegations circulating about her connections with other well-known people. Being one of the most attractive celebrities in Hollywood, Angie was unable to escape the rumors about her love life. A relationship between Angie Dickinson and President John F. Kennedy was the subject of one of the most startling and enduring rumors. Although there was never any hard proof, the press kept reporting about a covert affair between the two for years. Angie repeatedly refuted these allegations, claiming that she had a friendship with JFK that was only platonic. She added that although Kennedy never approached her, it was difficult to refute the rumors due to the romantic character of political tales and the attraction of his celebrity. In addition to Kennedy, Angie was allegedly linked with other well-known Hollywood figures, most notably the late Great Tonight Show host Johnny Carson. The crowd paid close attention to their exchanges whenever Angie was on the show. Many people thought they were in a romantic connection that was more than just friendship. However, neither Johnny nor Angie ever acknowledged having a romantic relationship and both kept quiet about these claims. Angie did admit that they were naturally attracted to one another, but they made the decision to keep their relationship professional and not let their emotions interfere with their work. It was also alleged that Angie Dickinson had close associations with other well-known movie actors, such as Marlon Brando and Richard Burton. Richard Burton and #039's indisputable charm caused many to conjecture that they were having a love relationship while working together on the Bramble Bush in 1960. Angie once said that Burton and #039's alluring personality made him a dangerous man. She never verified anything other than a professional closeness, despite their mutual regard. One of the greatest performers of all time, Marlon Brando, was reportedly rumored to have dated Angie Dickinson while they were both working on The Chase in 1966. Their encounters were colorful and inspired numerous stories by Brando, who was well known for his mischievous behavior and funny attitude on set. Angie thought of Brando with respect. She never acknowledged a more serious romantic relationship than their friendship at work. But out of all the allegations, Angie Dickinson only openly acknowledged her relationship with the great singer Frank Sinatra. 1. Of the most well-known love tales of Angie and #039's life was her two-decade romance with Sinatra. On the set of the Colgate Comedy Hour in 1953, they had their first encounter. Sinatra was immediately enthralled by Angie and #039's brilliance and charm. Despite being married to Jean Dickinson at the time, Angie and Sinatra and #039's connection remained intense. Angie and Sinatra developed a close relationship that lasted for many years after Sinatra even dared to ask for her phone number. Angie and Sinatra had many highs and lows over their two-decade partnership. Both their personal and professional life put strain on them. Sinatra and #039's vibrant nightlife and booming music career occasionally conflicted with Angie and #039's way of life. Their affection and respect for one another, however, have always been a defining characteristic of their bond. Angie once revealed that they had thought about getting married several times but had finally decided against it. Sinatra and #039's refusal to wed an actress was one of the causes. And Angie didn't, and #039's think she belonged in his world of partying. Additionally, she kept up a cordial connection with Nancy, Sinatra and #039's ex-wife, which made it challenging for Angie to assume the formal position of Sinatra and #039's wife. She respected and cared for Nancy, and she didn't, and #039's want to hurt her. Angie and Sinatra and #039's love remained a holy and important part of her life even if they were never married. Angie freely said that her greatest passion in life was Sinatra. She reminisced about their wonderful times together in several interviews, including lavish late-night parties, passionate moments, and their strong friendship over the course of 2 decades. She admired Sinatra and #039's charisma and powerful personality in addition to his musical prowess. Her affection for Sinatra extended beyond her personal life. Angie Dickinson was also able to establish beneficial connections in the entertainment industry because to it, but also provided her with a great deal of emotional support over her career. Their unquestionable harmony on stage and in their personal life, in addition to the fact that they were both major stars, made them the center of attention whenever they were together in public. Despite their decision not to be married, their love remained constant throughout the years. Angie Dickinson still holds a special place in her heart for Sinatra, admitting that her true love was him. Angie always believed that Sinatra had made a lasting impression on her heart, and his influence on her life persisted long after their romance ended. Personal life: Angie Dickinson and #039's marriage life was turbulent, much like the highs and lows of her career. She started using the last name Dickinson when she married football player Jean Dickinson for the first time, a moniker that would eventually come to symbolize who she was. Their marriage didn't, and #039's survive long, despite the fact that they had a good beginning. Their 1960 divorce was the result of lifestyle and ideological disagreements as well as rumors of infidelity. In 1965, following her divorce from Jean, Angie married the gifted composer Burt Bacharach for the second time, but also a life-supporting creative companion. But there were also challenges in their marriage. Nikki, their only child, was born in 1966. But because Nikki was born too soon, she had a lot of health problems from infancy. Despite her exceptional intelligence and talent, Nikki struggled with social interaction and communication due to Asperger and #039's syndrome, a developmental disability. Nikki and #039's illness had a profound impact on Angie and Burt and #039's lives. Despite being well-known individuals, they both battled the demands of their jobs in addition to the ongoing concern for Nikki and #039's future. Even though Angie and #039's career was at its height due to the success of Policewoman, she chose to prioritize taking care of her kid above many important chances. She turned down many roles, included Crystal Carrington and #039's part in the popular Dynasty television series, in order to spend more time with Nikki. Nothing mattered more to Angie than taking care of her daughter, and she was prepared to give up her job to give Nikki the greatest living conditions. Sending Nikki to the Menninger Clinic in Minnesota for psychological treatment at the age of 16 was one of Angie and #039's hardest choices ever. This choice was a turning point in Angie and #039's motherhood journey. Nikki struggled with social integration and personal growth because she had Asperger and #039's syndrome. Angie struggled to decide if she should focus all of her time on raising her kid or pursue her job. Despite her heartbreak, she ultimately decided to send Nikki to the specialty clinic for the required care. Angie never abandoned her role as a mother, even if this choice was a big sacrifice. Every time she paid Nikki a visit at the clinic, it was a priceless moment for both of them. In addition to strengthening their mother-daughter relationship, Angie organized outings for them to go on, which gave Nikki an opportunity to see the outside world and give her a sense of excitement and independence that she couldn't and #039's obtain from daily life. For Angie, their travels to Paris, Japan, and other locations left her with priceless memories. But Angie knew deep down that she couldn't and #039's keep Nikki safe forever, no matter how hard she tried. She had to deal with the agony of seeing her daughter battle her own inner demons. Angie was troubled by her powerlessness at being unable to do more than be present for her kid. She was aware that Nikki and #039's psychological problems needed more than a mother and #039's love, even though the vacations provided momentary happiness. Angie Dickinson gave up a successful profession, but that was not the only sacrifice she made. It has to do with constantly prioritizing her daughter. Angie was devastated when Nikki died in 2007. The unfathomable anguish of losing her baby put a stop to Nikki and #039's waning hope that she might one day find pleasure in life. Angie and #039's heart was left with a huge hole after Nikki and #039's passing, and she decided to live a more subdued life away from the glitzy lights of Hollywood. The life of Angie Dickinson is filled with tough choices and unending sacrifices. In addition to being a gifted actress, she was also a wonderful mother who constantly tried to provide the greatest life for her daughter, even if it meant sacrificing her own happiness and profession. In American film and television history, Angie Dickinson is an indispensable icon. She has played iconic parts over her more than 60-year career, from the seductive Feathers in Rio Bravo to the resolute police detective Pepper Anderson in Police Woman. The limits that Angie shattered for women on screen are just as much a part of her legacy as her artistic accomplishments. She cleared the path for numerous generations of female performers by being among the first actresses to play strong female lead parts. Angie has been nominated for multiple Emmys and won a Golden Globe for her performance in Police Woman, among other notable honors. In the entertainment sector, she is also one of the most adored and respected individuals. Angie has won over viewers and #039's hearts as a cultural icon thanks to her effortless acting, grace, and fortitude. Angie Dickinson has retired to a quiet life in Beverly Hills after leaving the limelight. Angie decided to live away from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood after experiencing personal tragedies, including the death of her daughter Nikki. She no longer attends public gatherings or important entertainment events, instead choosing to live a secluded life and pursue her own interests. Angie and #039's present way of life is centered on calm and harmony. To focus on herself and her family, she has abandoned the hectic life of a celebrity. She emphasizes her own time and enjoys her older years in peace and quiet, even if she still keeps up relationships with a few close acquaintances in the entertainment industry. Even though Angie Dickinson is no longer performing, her legacy endures in movie history and in the hearts of her admirers. One of the greatest celebrities to ever appear on television, her name will live on as a testament to her elegance, skill, and unflinching fortitude. I appreciate you watching. To ensure you don't and #039 miss out on more fascinating content, remember to hit the like and button and subscribe to the channel. Tell us what you think by leaving a comment. I and #039 LL see you in the upcoming video. Farewell.